Mahalakshmi, maybe I would have agreed more with you had I not been on the other side of the table here.
Okay.
Because
What is the use of crying over spilt milk? Even now you have the opportunity, time, amount, everything. You
good way of expressing yourself. There's a lot of clarity in your ideas. The words that you choose or the sentences that you frame, there is a direction in your answer. The topic for today is empowering through sports.
okay.
Okay. So if I may just tell you what the way I look at this topic is about how different sports or different rules in every sport kind of brings up your skills.
Okay.
For example, if you are playing basketball, right? So you need to have team spirit, you need to have proper coordination, you need to have proper communication with the rest of your team members because your ultimate goal is the same,
Okay.
right? So it's about talking about different sports, the requirements of that sport, and then trying to uh, associate your talent or skills with that sport. Okay, so you think it'll be good enough to go ahead? The topic, would you like to discuss on it?
Ma'am, actually, I'm not a sport person. Having said that, I want my daughters to be excel in sports.
Hmm.
I did not have an opportunity to involve myself in sports activity during my
Hmm.
school days and also in college days. So I don't know much about sports.
Okay.
Is but that should not be there for my daughter. So I have incorporated them in some activities. I have made them to participate in some sports. So they have been participating in basketball and swimming. Is and my younger one is very little, so next year probably we may make her to join in some tennis or shuttle. As
Control
of
her in
now,
activity.
yes,
Hmm.
ma'am. As of now, she has been learning swimming.
Okay, lovely. How old is she?
My younger one is in first standard, ma'am. Now, 5.5 years.
5 years. Okay, okay. I think that's a brilliant time to for her to learn swimming because I
Mm.
remember by the time my daughter started learning swimming, she was already 9 years of age,
Okay.
eight and a half, 9 years of age. So it was easy for her. It was still easy for her because I started learning when I was 15. So
Okay.
I was way worse than her. But yeah, I think it's a brilliant way to get your children, very used to this kind of physical activity.
Okay. I think they have inherited this from their father. He's a
Ah,
sport person. He's a sport person, and he's well versed in all kind of sports. Like he's good at basketball, football, cricket, tennis, and everything. I'm just opposite. I am not interested in anything. So they may have inherited this interest from their dad.
absolutely. But that definitely might be the case, Mahalakshmi. But I'll also tell you that this generation is understanding more about sports than it just being a physical exercise or a physical way of winning a game. For example, this generation has seen the growth of someone like Virat Kohli, right? Where he has very openly spoken about how many things he had to give up or the kind of limits he had to cross to achieve what he has achieved so far. So it doesn't just start and stop on the field, it is a complete 360 degrees turnover in
Correct.
the lifestyle,
Yes, ma'am. See,
right?
while playing sports, we can get the holistic development of our oneself, ma'am. We cannot say that I'm only concentrating on this sport, that sport. It is an amalgamation of all the good qualities. We can learn so many things while playing. Like as you said, it's a spirit and the communication, the generosity. It means that we don't see that I have to win always. We give opportunities to others. I came to know all this while watching the basketball. When my daughter is playing basketball, I was it was evident. to observe all these. I could analyze everything from that sports, from that game, ma'am. So it is an amalgamation of everything, and also it is going to help them in their academics as well,
True.
in their life and everything.
Very true. And more importantly, the schools today also have started putting a lot of importance and emphasizing this role of sports in a person's overall personality or development. Back
Correct.
in the day when I was in school, there was very little, maybe in a week there used to be games period, right?
Okay.
And there also there was not a proper approach followed, that okay, we are going to first see your physical strength and we are going to give you some activities to perform, and then we will see what suits you the best or where your interest lies the most, right? So nowadays they are more procedural when it comes to picking you for certain sports and all of that. So I think that's a good part, good change in the Indian education system.
Yes. That being said, ma'am, they are also missing out certain things. They
Mhm.
are giving importance to the children who are well versed in that sports. Then what about the remaining kids?
Yes.
They might not be interested in sports, but it is their duty to inculcate that habit to those students, to those children. They somehow should encourage them also to participate in some of the games. Right, ma'am. It
Correct.
is also happening nowadays. They are just concentrating the average or above average students or some extraordinary students. They are just leaving below average, and the students, the silent students. But it should not be there, ma'am. They have to give importance to everyone.
Mahalakshmi, maybe I would have agreed more with you had I not been on the other side of the table here.
Okay.
Because I have been in a school, I have seen how the things work and function there. That is why I can tell you what happens on their end also. As a parent, we expect that okay, we are sending the child to this school, they are keeping the child for 7 to 8 hours, and we are paying a big, huge amount to them as fees. So we have to expect them to excel in everything,
Okay.
right? And if not excel, we at least want them to participate in everything. So, in that expectation itself, somewhere we lose the focus.
Okay.
That is, we need to personally first understand where do we think our child is good in, what
Okay.
activity is the child good in, and then push
Okay.
the child in that direction. That is one thing. Second thing is these schools mostly overpromise,
Correct.
because even though they understand that they have taken that much of fees and they have to justify that amount. So while explaining it to the parent, oh, we have this facility, they make swimming pools, they make basketball courts, they have volleyball courts, they have skating grounds. My daughter's school had it all. Okay.
Okay.
And obviously when we go as a parent, we are like all starry eyes, like wow, like this has every amenity, my daughter is going to get the best,
Best.
right? But the problem is that in those 7 hours, there are also 10 subjects. There is also art and craft, there is also music, there is also dance, there is also sports,
Correct, ma'am.
right? So those 7 hours actually fall short. Now, you tell me, if in 1 week my daughter does half an hour of practice of dance twice in a week, that is 1 hour in a week, what will she learn?
No, nothing,
It's
ma'am.
enough.
Yes. See, that time they should actually. What, ma'am?
I said that is the problem. Are you able
Yes.
to hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, okay,
Before, okay, I was not able to hear those two words, so I asked.
okay, no worries.
Okay. Oppa.
There was a power cut.
Yes, ma'am. There was a power cut.
Now it has been resumed. The services have been resumed.
Yes.
Great, lovely. I'm so glad for you. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Okay, ma'am. See, as you said correctly, ma'am, we cannot expect our children to produce everything. We just need our children to be a doctor, as an engineer, as a
Mm,
policeman overnight. But they are
yeah,
just a small kid. We should understand that. We should not make them to participate in everything, ma'am. That is not
correct.
my case, but on the whole, the school also should give some importance to all the children. That is my point. Okay, let it be, ma'am. But we don't know the exact thing. The school just needs to get the attention from the parents, so they are actually doing their best to showcase their amenities to the parents, the facilities to the parents. They are also doing great, and meanwhile, we also should give our contribution towards the children growth. We should not just simply say that I have paid the lump sum amount, so
Yes,
it's their duty to take care of my daughter or some children. No, it is not like that. We also have to give our 100% attention, and
absolutely. Because a
correct.
parent is a parent at the end of the day. The school or the teachers cannot do the duty that you are expected to perform,
Perform. Correct.
right? And let me also put it in a way which will give you another approach to this picture. I'll tell you what happens. So, talking about extracurricular activities in general, okay, so you said that you were not really interested in sports. So, was there any particular extracurricular activity that you had a lot of interest in apart from your studies?
Okay, I'm more interested in reading and art-based work. I'm interested in drawing, painting, and all, and
Mhm.
also in solving Sudoku, in solving cubes
Mhm.
and the Rangoli part. So I'm more interested. I am more into these kind of work, ma'am. I'm not
Creativity. Uh,
creative work and some logical, analytical work. And I
oh,
really love to solve puzzles, that kind of work. See, when I was doing my college school, I was reading everything except my academic books. So I was good at reading. Is well, I did not study any of my academic books related to academics, but I was just concentrating on some other part. When there was a competition, so I used to participate in everything. So I was giving my time for the preparation of these those activities. So I was into reading. Even now, I am into reading and solving puzzles, giving some works for my daughters, some games. So I'm more interested into this. Having said that, I love to watch all the games, starting from
okay.
cricket to basketball, tennis, and everything.
Okay. So this started now, like that, watching the game, the interest in watching the sport, that started now, or it was there even as a child?
Well, cricket we all watch together, so we are interested in watching cricket as a whole family. Even now, my everyone is fond of watching cricket match.
Okay.
And tennis also, I used to watch a lot when Leander Face, Agassi, Steffi Graf, and Williams, Venus Williams, right, man?
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm.
When they were participating, when they were playing, I used to watch a lot, not now. Uh,
Okay. Okay. So we'll take one more question and then we'll talk about the feedback. Okay,
okay.
Malakshmi. So nowadays we see, and even back in the day it was a lot, but I think now that intensity has gone up. So when we see parents who probably did not get a lot of facilities as a child, when they were growing up, probably they lived in a smaller town or a village, or the financial condition was not as good as as what they are today. So they couldn't do a lot of things as a child, or they did not get the facilities or the kind of exposure, and they feel had they gotten it they would have been so much better. Okay. And so with that kind of forcefulness, if I may say, they try to put all this baggage on their children, that what, had I been given this opportunity I would have done so well. You have got everything, so you should definitely go ahead and perform better. So what's your opinion on that? You think that is justified?
No, ma'am, that is not at all justified. See, even now you can do all your works. What is the use of crying over spilled milk? Even now you have the opportunity, time, amount, everything. You can start learning everything even from now. So why are you expecting all this from your children, from your next generation? You please allow them to do. based on their interest, based
Yeah.
on their nature. But now, in this generation, we are not forcing them, ma'am. It was there during our generation, but now we are way more better than our parents' generation, right? So
Yeah.
we actually encountered everything in our stage. So we are not forcing to our children. We are just allowing them to do based on their wish.
Right. Right.
We
And we
started
are pushing
understanding
them
them.
when, absolutely. We are only pushing them when they have got themselves in a competition or in a sport or in any extracurricular activity by their own interest. It's
Yes.
not like we have put all that baggage on them forcefully,
Correct, Shima. So I
right?
consider that if you want your children to inculcate reading habit, do it by yourself. No better way to learn something than by doing yourself.
Correct. You have to
So
lead by example.
by example, don't just say by words. Action speaks louder than words. So
Absolutely.
it's always good to do the actions, ma'am. So I always like to set myself as an example for my daughter. So I don't say that please read. I just sit in front of them, take a book and start reading.
Need to practice what we preach,
What we
and
preach.
then
She
we can
always
expect them to
listen.
follow. Okay, Mahalakshmi. So here we are towards the end of the session. We are going to talk about a quick feedback. Okay. So see, I think this is our fourth session together. Okay. So I have told this earlier also. So you have a good way of expressing yourself. There's a lot of clarity in your ideas. The words that you choose or the sentences that you frame, there is a direction in your answer. It's not like you start somewhere and then you read somewhere else. It's not like that. Your thoughts are very well aligned and you know what exactly is going to be the conclusion of your answer, right? So that's a great point where you have clarity of thoughts and ideas. Okay. Then we come to the technical part, the subject verb agreement or the prepositions or the tenses. They are mostly a 9 out of 10. Okay. There are hardly any places. If I may just add a few, instead of saying in present continuous, we will stay in simple present. So this is happening nowadays. So this happens,
Mm.
right? Instead of saying it is happening, right? Uh, or a few words, for example, when you said that, giving an opportunity, equal opportunity to the other person also, or having that spirit. So if we use a word like sportsmanship spirit,
Okay.
right? That means giving equal opportunity, accepting win as well as loss with equal spirit, okay, having the enthusiasm and coordination as a team. So all of it will come in one word only, having the sportsmanship spirit.
Sportsmanship spirit.
Correct.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. And when you said inculcate to those students, can we change the preposition here? To will not be correct. Inculcate in.
In okay.
We are inculcating something in the students.
Okay.
Okay. Um, Other than that, there were words like pressurizing, equality, and participation. So these are the words which, while speaking, I felt will be better to explain yourself. Okay.
Okay.
Now, talking about the pronunciation, there are two specific sounds. Okay. One is words like art and father, where I'm still hearing a,
Father.
yeah, or sound should be completely removed. And when you say now and allow, so after the word is over, there is a sound, a little bit of sound that is audible.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so it sounds like now and allow. Okay, so that first sound is, it probably comes when you join the lips together.
Okay.
Okay, so don't do that.
Okay.
Specific,
Now,
yes, and allow.
allow,
Correct,
allow,
right.
allow.
Okay, and more interested in this, not into this.
More interested in this.
In this, right? But other than that, the words that you used were quite good. You were able, like I said, you were able to express yourself with a lot of clarity. So no worries there. This is just a few things which we need to remember the next time we have a session.
Okay. Fine.
Okay. All right, Mahalakshmi. So thank you so much for joining. You have a great, enjoyable summer vacation ahead at your mom's place.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Bye bye.